to you about the power of dedication. Dedication is actually what makes someone achieve success at the end of their goal, not because they are skillful or because they are talented. Yes, there are so many talented poor people, unsuccessful people all across the globe. But there are so many successful, dedicated folks who are on the face of Forbes magazine. You pick a little thing with a determination and dedication of wanting to kill a Goliath, then you are going to bring that mountain down. In life, you could be distracted by the economy of your pocket. You could be distracted by the emotion in your relationship. You could be distracted by what is currently reigning on the internet now in the age of electronic everything. But I'm telling you that if you allow those distractions to come and form the hypothesis of your life, the dream you have always had in your mind will die without being fulfilled or seeing the light of the day. So you can't make it without dedication. What happens is that every goal that we set for ourselves come with their own emotion. Emotion is what makes them become jealous of one another. You want to buy a car, you want to build a house, you want to marry a wife, you want to live a life that is beyond your generations in the past, and you want to set a pace for yourself. But all these things you must realize they come with their own emotion also, because the God of emotion who has...
All right, so welcome everybody, and I hope I'm meeting you well today. Hold on, please. My name is Greatman Ayilara, and you are welcome to Intentional Parenting today, where we will be talking about investing in parent-children relationship. The audio you were listening to before is actually one of my podcasts. You can access it on my YouTube channel. It is called The Power of Dedication. I often release that sometimes to just encourage people and also share secrets of success with them. So today we're going to be talking about a very dicey topic on intentional parenting. Every Wednesday we hold intentional parenting on this platform, and we will be dicing up the reason why you must invest in your friendship with your children. So talking about investing in parent-children relationship or friendship. Do me a favor, go ahead and share this particular broadcast. You can host it on your platform as a party, a watch party, so that as many people can join us and be able to learn. Doesn't matter if you are an intending parent, if you are an on-duty parent, if you are a single parent, either you are male or female, if you are a grandparent or you are indirect parent like a teacher or whatever you may be in the society, you need to really understand what we are talking about today. So let me start by saying that every relationship thrives when we remove the official connotation of such relationship. Every relationship thrives when we remove the official connotation of that relationship. You can write that down. Now, it is applicable to you also as adult in your relationship at work with your boss at work. You realize that when your boss begins to say, I am your boss, you are not able to express yourself. You are not also able to maximize your potential in that place of work. But when your boss actually relates with you as if he's your friend, is your confidant, you see that you begin to think outside the box and you are able to confide in your boss. So also in the place of marriage and relationship. I often tell couples when they come to me for counseling that there is a time for you to be husband and wife. There's a time for you to be brother and sister. There's a time for you to be friends. And one of the best mistakes we make when we get married is to think that the moment we get married, we should suspend friendship. We should subscribe to man and wife. And because we are putting official title on these relationships, you realize they don't get to go well. We begin to expect too much from one another. So also in our parent-children relationship, we need to be able to know when to be daddy or mommy to them, and also be able to know when to be their friends. Because there are so many things you will not get to learn about your child, even though you watch them grow up, if you are not their friends. Most often than none, or even more often than none, I don't know the way it is, You realize that your children's friends actually know more about your children or your child than you yourself. And that is a very dangerous thing. It's a red flag. It should not be. Because in their friendship caucus, they are able to express themselves. There is no officiality in their friendship caucus. There is no atmosphere of I am this, you are this. They treat themselves like equal. You must also bring the same technicality into your home as the parent. Be able to create an atmosphere where your children can be very free with you. You see, when they become so free with you, you might think they are your friends, but they are not really your friends. And there's a difference between having friendship with your children and becoming the confidant of your children. You realize that most children just want you around as a form of security and a provider, so to say. They don't want you around as a friend. That's why they are so eager to get out of your home. That's why sometimes when you send a message, they find it reluctant to come back home on time. They spend so much time on their phone. They spend so much time in school. And they are even begging you to enroll them in one course or the other because they want to spend time away from you. But you think you are a great parent. But your children are panting after someone else's companionship and company. You must get to understand that it is very easy for your children to actually put a lot of respect on you as parents and try to form that you have friendship going on, whereas you don't have friendship going on. That's why you get to see that most times, even a child that is closest to you could get pregnant without your awareness, and you think that you are close to that child. And it becomes so heartbreaking most times when the child we love the most and we think we are closest to the most are the ones who break our heart. Is it those ones we think, okay, these ones you fix yourself and all that? They tend to actually do well at the end of the day. Why? Because unknowingly to us and indirectly to us, we are creating an atmosphere of friendship with that one. We say, free yourself. You know, the moment you say free yourself to a child, that child is able to tell you what they are capable of. And you get to see their weakness. You get to be able to correct them on time. Those are the children you get to shout on and you get to settle issue with and you get to have a headache on and all that. Because you are giving them opportunity to be your friend. And they are free with you. But you think they are troublesome. Those are not the troublesome children. The ones you think are giving you headache are actually not the source of your headache. You see, those ones that are very quiet, those ones that does everything you say, that work according to the letter, those ones who follow your instructions to detail, you need to be very, very careful of them. Because most times it is easy for these children to please us as parents and then to have their own way with their children, with their friends outside. You need to come to the point where you don't lure your child or your children to obey you. You make them see a reason why they should do what they should do. And then you must understand that you don't bring your unfulfilled dream into their lives. Allow them to also be free. They were created with a unique purpose, a unique intention, and a different thing entirely. You want to be a lawyer, you are not able to study law. You want to be an engineer, you drop out of school. You want to be a pilot, your brain could not catch it. It is not the best time for you to lay your own dream on your children and say, this is what you must read in school. Because it's going to go a long way in sabotaging their freedom. And don't forget what I told you about those ones that you think are giving you a headache. They are giving you a headache because they are trying to express themselves. They want to be your friend. And they are not keeping any secret with you or from you. That's why you are able to understand that this child have this weakness and this is the laxity and the lapse of this child. But the ones that you think are perfect, they are the one that tends to actually hurt you the most. Because as time goes on, you realize that while you think that they are confiding in you, they actually have a friend outside which they are confiding in. That's why I always advise, you must take away every officiality from your relationship with your child. If you really want that child to turn out well and be able to understand you and know their weakness also. There's a time for you to be, I'm your mommy or I'm your daddy. And there's a time for you to be, I'm your parent. Now, last time when we met on this platform, and we talk about the danger of unsupervised technology, a man wrote to me, and I seek his indulgence to actually read from his message earlier. I told him I'm going to use it as an opportunity to also train people. Because I want to know if what we are doing is giving us the right feedback. And this is his message. He said, yes, go ahead, bro. And I'm going to tell you now, last time we met, I recommended some application to you And I told you the reason why we need to supervise these children. As long as you are paying their bills and they are under your roof, and they are yet to be at the age of taking responsibility for their lives, you have every right to survey them and to also monitor them. As long as you provide for their need, you must take responsibility for their actions while they are still under your roof. And one of the ways we get to do that is to evaluate if we are really parenting these children well. So I advise some people, I say, plant little camera in your children's room. They don't have to know. Maybe you can plant an holiday for them, just let them go. Call an IT specialist and let them come fix it for you. And in calling an IT specialist to come and fix it for you, make sure that this IT specialist is well registered, because you don't want to tap the secrecy of your home to someone who's an outsider to monitor it for you. And I also recommended some software or application you can put on their phone to get to know, okay, if you have already exposed them to technology, how can you get to know what they are talking about? And this man reached out to me and we talked about, this is not the only feedback I got from last session, but this is what he said to me. He said, just said I should give you a quick update. And I think he wrote me from America. He said, I have confiscated all electronic gadgets with internet connectivity in my house from my children. Now, he said, what I have discovered in these 2 to 3 days have been so destabilizing. Especially my first daughter, she's on a destructive path already. I had to hold an emergency family meeting, and what she revealed based on the things I discovered on her phone are so demoralizing. I am in a complete state of shock. I am glad I took the step I did, because if I haven't taken drastic steps based on your video, I would have completely lost my daughter and I would have blamed myself for it. Thanks once again for the video. It saved a life. I will seek other ways children will be engaged, but for now, internet is a no-go area for them. This was the feedback I got from this particular person. You can also go to my Facebook page, my personal Facebook page. You will see it. I launched it there with his approval. Several other people really reached out to me that what they discovered within few days of last video we had, last broadcast about intentional parenting, has actually broken their heart. But this is what I told them. I said, come, it is better for you to be heartbroken earlier now than for you to get heartbroken later in the future, because the earlier you catch this thing, because it's like a cancer, the less the tendency of it spreading around. And I replied the person by saying, wow, this is a mixed feeling, as I cannot imagine how you're feeling now. But we thank God for timely intervention. I would advise you take it easy, as they are prone to outsmarting us eventually. Instead of harsh treatment and Herculean rules, invest in friendship, daily conversation, and love. Bring them to round table as group, and also talk to each one as individual to know their needs, desires, and thoughts. Be their father on the surface, but also be their friends in the intimate. Let us not forget to constantly talk them about the value and worth of God. I believe in creating program for the children in the nearest future, so we had some conversation around that aspect. Based on the last video, this particular man was able to catch a cancer that is spreading around the family quickly. Now, I'm not using that to justify why you need to understand what we're trying to get at. But I'm saying that the essence of this particular video is so we can reduce the stress that may come on us in the nearest future. Because we don't want to die and have our children take over from us. And the same thing we are talking about is what they will be talking about. Because children grow up to occupy political offices and multinational companies and make decisions for the nation. If they don't have the right value from home, we are just wasting our time. And we need to make sure that charity begins at home, not only in terms of love, but also in terms of discipline. As a friendship helps you to open up the line of communication with your children. It helps you to open that line of communication up. And communication helps you to understand the new status updates regarding their social life. You just don't come on a child and say, let's be friends. I want to be your friend. There are so many ways you can do that. You don't even need to spell it out. So the way you talk to them, the way you gist with them, the way you spend time with them. And this is a sorry case for those who are chasing money and using the chase of money to replace relationship with their children. This way goes a long way. Some children, I will not lie to you, they might be very, very reluctant to befriend you. They might see it as very suspicious. They might see it as something that is unnatural. How can daddy, who used to be very bold-faced and all that, suddenly want to hang out with us? So even if you are not getting the desired result on time, don't give up. Just keep at it. Because if it took them time to form an hypothesis regarding you that you don't care about them and you are just a father, not a friend, it's going to take you time to be able to edit that hypothesis in their brain to know that, yes, even though you are their father or their mother, you can also be their friends. I grew up in a home whereby every night when my mother comes back from wherever she goes to, maybe workplace and all that, she automatically just gist us about what happened. She wasn't telling us that you have to tell me what happened. She led by example. She was telling us what happened. So automatically, in response to that, we began to tell her what happened. In my home, when I was growing up, I realized that my mother dare not go out without telling us a day before where she's going to. So we're able to know and understand her schedule and her movement. And she doesn't really need to come to us and tell us, you must tell me where you are going to, before we started saying, okay, by so time and so time, we'll be going out to so place. Because whenever she does that, she gives us detail. So you can easily know where she is at a point in time. She led by example. And no matter how late she comes back from work, she will always call us to the round table, bring stuff for us while gisting and while snacking away. She will always talk to us about the things. She even speaks to us about her friends. That's one thing I want you to know. You don't only invest in friendship with your children because you want to be their friend. You also invest in friendship with them because you want to know their friends also. She has a way of doing everything without spelling it out accurately. She tells us about her friend, the nature of them, what they are going through, and what. You must understand that this is family. And in family, there is no secrecy. You must really train your children to know how to identify danger and the kind of value you want them to identify with. So in that way, she tells us everything. You might come to our house and be forming face, but we know what's going on with you because our mother tells us about you. It's not about gossiping. This is our children, and these are your children. They must know the kind of people you roll with. See, in the process of trying to give us the detail and transparency of the people she roll with, we don't make friends in school or wherever we go to without updating our mother. I'm telling you the truth till today. If I'm dating a lady, I make my mother understand that I met a lady and I'm dating her. It is a family culture. She didn't need to ask me. I just tell her because she tells me she has to. And I don't go like 2 days straight away without getting update from her. As a matter of fact, when I travel home to go and see her, first 2-3 days that I'm home, I'm still getting update of how it happened immediately, exactly how it happened. So I'm totally useless to the outside world because my mother is getting my attention. My family will come around to see me. My elder sister and my younger ones will come around, we form round table. We catch up with one another. We are grown up now. But then we had this culture from home. No matter how you go and how far you have been, when you come home, you update yourself. We must get in touch and keep tab with one another. Now, that was a culture that this woman created in the home. I want you to go ahead and create that same culture. Create time for your children. Create time for your word. They need it to be able to trust you. You don't ask them questions without really proving to them that you are worthy of the answer. You don't just tell them, hey you, what happened in school today? No, start by telling them what happened to you also. When you are in the habit of always telling them what happened to you, you will also be getting update of what is happening to them. Because in children dealing and handling, you must understand that it is a very, very sensitive case. And this is what I want you to know. You have the audacity and all the autonomy of power to be able to screen and also scrutinize the kind of friends that they have. Right from when they were little. Be able to ask them, how is your friend? You made any friends today? How is she to you? How is he to you? Make them have that subconscious mind that they don't do anything without updating you. And it don't matter how old you are. You need to be able to keep tab on your children. Like I said in the last video when I was talking to you about the danger of unsupervised technology. I'm just few before 40 and my mother is well over 60 and in the 70 around. But for the sake of our children, she's technologically inclined. She's on Facebook, she's on Instagram, she's on YouTube. Why? This woman wants to keep tab of us. And she's not only keeping tab of me, my siblings, she's also keeping tab of my cousins who live abroad. And she's the matriarch of the home, of the family. She's able to call you up and tell you, don't you think this is a little bit overboard? Don't you think this is a little bit out of it? Why don't you? And in talking about it, she doesn't give you law and order to follow. She make you reason with her. Because of the friendship we have grown with her, we have been able to understand that this woman, we can trust her with our life. And this is what I want you to know. In creating friendship with your children, know when to have a global friendship with all of them together. Also know when to have an intimate friendship with them, which is what I recommended for this man. And I'm going to talk to you about it. See, children want to be loved generally. Nobody wants to be loved more than the rest, or nobody wants to be loved less than the other. Most often than not, in the race of trying to create friendship with our children, we fail in that aspect by creating favoritism and politics in our own home. When a child senses that you love one more than the other, they begin to act in a rebellious way. Sometimes your child that is not listening to you or giving you tough time is doing that to actually spite you, that you like that one more than me, so leave me alone, let me live my life. You must know when to actually apply the global friendship with them. If you have more than a child, you must make them understand that I love all of you the same way. There are all the time in my family when it's becoming obvious to my younger ones and my even elder sister that my mother kind of loves me more than she does them. Because I grew up in a time when we do environmental sanitation, back then in Ogun State. And I have younger sister and younger brother, two of them, and a younger elder sister. I'm like in the middle. I'm the first child and the first son. When it's Saturday and everybody, they are weeding, and they try to wake me up and call me to come and weed, my mother tells them not to touch me. You can imagine when a mother tells even your younger ones not to touch you because she feels like, okay, you are not meant for hard work. And they begin to create some kind of disparity between us. And I sense that I have to talk to her. I know how much you love me, but please don't make it obvious. I don't want my younger ones or my sister to hate me. Because sometimes you parents don't know that you are the one creating enmity between your children. You are the one setting them against each other. Everybody wants to be loved the way they want to be loved. And nobody wants to be loved lesser than the other person. I had an issue in my extended family where my grandmother treats some children rightly and some children wrongly. And you know what happened at the end of the day? When we grew up, we decided, we don't want to call her, we don't want to talk to her, we don't want to have anything to do with her. And she got the message in a very hard way because she started living a lonely life. She had up to 62 grandchildren, but most of us don't even know anything to do with her. But now she's actually getting the message and she's trying to treat everybody the same way. And in trying to befriend your children, do not make one feel that he or she is more important than the other. And if you have a child, a single child under your custody, do not love them to the point of spoiling them. Don't make them become an oxygen of your life. Don't make them feel as if without you, you can't live or you can't breathe. So I'm trying to tell you now that you must apply what we call global friendship and also intimate friendship. When you are creating friendship atmosphere in your home, understand that the global friendship is applicable to all your children where they see each other as equal before you. But the local friendship and the intimate friendship is getting to know their need individually. Because what I need as a person is different from what my younger ones need. So my mother created a system whereby all of us can come to her individually. And she decided to become a vault that keeps her secret. There are things my mother knows about me, my elder sister doesn't know. There are things my younger sister knows about me that my older brother doesn't know. We give her rules and regulations and the terms and conditions of telling her a secret. If I want people to know, I tell you, people can know this, but this one, people cannot know. And she has been able to live up to standard of being able to keep her secret, even though we are all her children. There are some things we don't know about each other that she keeps to herself. You must be able to understand that these children, in the process of trying to confide in you, they also want you to be their confidential master. They want to keep their secret with you and make it remain secret. The fact that they are siblings doesn't mean that they want the other person to know their moves. And it's not because they want to hate the person, but because they are entitled to the privacy. And you are like a doctor to them. So as a doctor, you must respect their privacy. That is getting to know them individually. When you begin to study these children individually, you are able to understand the need of one. You know the child that needs you to raise your voice when you want to correct her. And you know the child that doesn't want you to raise your voice. You know the one that wants you to deprive him or her of things. You know the one that needs you to provide too much for her or him to be able to get the message. You just know your children the way they are, and you are able to relate with them as they fit. You cannot punish them all the same way. The way you train your first child might be different from the way your second child wants to be trained. So you must be able to do it. That's why we call it intentional parenting. Being able to befriend them globally and also locally. Another thing I want you to understand is that there are folks we call predators. You see, predators are folks who come into the life of your children or try to intrude in your family and bait your children with some kind of fancy, especially confidentiality, and turn them into a prey. Now, the best way a predator react or behave is that first they ask your children of your mother or your father, which of them are you close to? You see, when a predator realizes from your child that she or he is not close to any of you, the job is easier to infiltrate that child's mentality and begin to mess him up or her up. But when a child says, I'm closer to my father or I'm closer to my mother, you must also begin to understand the idiosyncrasies of predators. Now, a male predator prefers you to be closer to your mother than your father. If a male predator is trying to prey your child, who is a girl, and your child says that I am very close to my mom, except that mother is in the close proximity with the male predator, the predator still feel at home. But when a male predator says, who is your closest friend between your parents? And that female child says, my father. If he craves, they don't look back. I'm telling you the actual fact. So a female predator on your boy child would prefer that your boy child is closer to the mother than the father. Or am I mistaken? No, the mother than the father. Because they know that, okay, I can easily just undo that. Just try to multiply. Just try to cross it, vice versa. Because we know how best to actually appeal to the emotion. A male predator can actually outwit a woman, the mother. A female predator can actually outwit the man. Because most often than not, or more often than not, a female predator is trying to sexualize or even abuse your male child, knows that it's going to be very hard for your male child to be talking to a fellow man about how a woman is maltreating him. So she actually feels at home. But when the female predator knows that your son is close to you as the mother, they pick race because they know how furious women can be. And they know that it is easier for mother to believe their male child when they report to them that a female woman, an elderly person or whoever, is trying to prey on them. So you must be able to balance that. It is now becoming a calamity when your child is neither close to you or the father. That's why I say, as much as possible, if you are a single parent, find someone who can stand as a father figure for your child. If you are a woman, or if you are a man, find someone who can stand as a mother figure for your child. Because the strength of a predator lies in the kind of sex or the gender of the parents that the child is close to. And then they take autonomy of power and freedom to abuse these children if your child is not close to any of you at all. The thought that this child could confide in you chases away most predators. And in talking about predators also, let's take it a little bit deeper. A predator could also be someone within the family, not necessarily someone they meet online or they are friends from outside. It could be someone from a family, it could be their cousin, it could be their aunt, their uncle, it could even be the house help. So you must not trust anybody. Sometimes, on a very explicit case, the predator for a child could be one of the parents. It could be the mother predating the son, or the father predating the daughter. But it is most heard of when the father abuses the daughter. Sometimes also, siblings become the predator of themselves. One of the people that put camera in their home, I wrote about it. When we got the information, the woman came to me and she was saying that I cannot understand the kind of love that exists between my sons. They love each other so much, they want to go to the same school, they want to, even because of the love, my elderly son volunteer to repeat a class so that he can be in the same class with my younger son. And I saw a red flag there. She saw love. So I said, let's use camera to survey them. And we got to realize that the elderly boy is actually sodomizing his younger brother. They have been having anal sex and all that. And the woman was shattered into pieces. We're still trying to handle the case, trying to confront the children and all of those things. So predator could come in any aspect. It could be their teacher at school. It could even be their pastors, especially the religious leaders. They have a way of laundering their own, the way they abuse these children, such a way that because you, the mother or the father, already have programmed them to listen to everything the pastor says or the imam says, they only come to report to you that they have been abused by the religious leader. So you must understand the role of a predator. And these predators abound. The only thing that can break the power of a predator on your child or your ward is your friendship with them. When your children can be boastful of how close they are to you, predators, they run away from them. So you must understand also that being involved in their choice of friendship goes longer way than saying, bring your friend home, I want to see them. You must investigate. You must investigate. Get to know from which family are they picking friends from. If this child wants to be the friend of my son or the friend of my daughter, I must know your parent. We must know your background. You must know your activity. We must know your psychology wiring also. We must understand that this thing, we are bringing you as part of our family. And in bringing you as part of our family, there must be some collateral that will be in place in terms of investigation. And if you do all of these things that I've said, you can never be wrong that you have your child. Even when they are no more with you, that's how you get to see your child going to high school and they calling you every single day, giving you update of what is wrong with them. You should not be happy that your child is ranting and running or even eager to leave home. That shows that there is no friendship between them. The day for your child to cry for leaving you is not the day of their wedding. It should be the day they first have the independence of wanting to stay alone. Children want to explore, yeah, we understand that. But then when they are so attached to you, not in terms of not being able to get things done for themselves, but when they are so attached to you, you realize that there is a level of fear you allay from yourself because you are sure that even though you are not there physically with them, you are there with them in no ramification. Even though you don't know what's up with them now, you will surely know because they will update you. And like I said earlier, refuse to actually make your home an official home. Know when to be father and when to be friend. Know when to be mother and when to be their friend. Know when to put title on your role in their life and when to remove title on that. Know when to apply your friendship on a global scale to avoid favoritism, and know when to go local with each and every one of them individually. You must also understand that in the way to get them to trust you and confide in you in terms of friendship, you must start first by confiding in them. This goes out to African fathers. We are very proud and very egocentric. We are too full of ourselves. We are so arrogant. We count it as something so impossible and a miraculous intervention to spend time with our children, to gist with them, to talk to them about how our day went. Some of them have been through a lot at place of work. These children don't know anything about it. We bring the aggression home and we take it out on them. There is nothing bad in communicating with them. Make sure that children gather around in dinner time. If you can't do that weekly day because of traffic or whatever, make sure every weekend they have an update. Make them understand the reason why you do what you do. Sometimes we are human and we are fallible. You can snap at them, but be able to also tell them, I'm sorry, child, something happened in the office today. I'm sorry, I didn't know. I'm very sorry, I apologize. It's not your fault, it's my fault and all that. Let them understand. And when you begin to say this, giving them feedback, communicating with them, children are born to be empathetic. They empathize with you. They know that daddy is in a good mood and they begin to come to you now to ask you, Daddy, did anybody offend you? Did anybody offend you in traffic? Is it your place of work? And you realize that you are not only helping them to befriend you, you are also helping yourself to also calm down and your blood pressure is able to come down. You are coming home not to your wife and children now, you are coming home to your friends and family. now your perspective towards them begin to change. Because now when you come home, you have people to talk to. You have people to talk with. You have people who are asking you, Daddy, are you sure you ate well today? Are you sure you are okay? Did anybody look at you anyhow? Did anybody, when they know that you are in a bad mood? Now they know that this bad mood, we don't have to ask Father anything because it will aggravate him. And you also as a mother, you must be able to do that. And keep touch on these children. Because if you don't do that, no one else can do it for you. Most times in our nation, all across the globe and Africa, we are dealing with the failure of so many women and so many men. And that's why I always advise, when you are making love, either in wedlock or outside of wedlock, there should be something in your mind, not that you are going to hell or are you committing sin. The very first thing in your mind is that, what if this thing becomes a pregnancy? Is this man I'm sleeping with a qualified father for my future children? This woman I'm having sex with, peradventure it becomes pregnancy. Can I trust this woman with the life of my children? That should be the first thing that you think about when you are sexually aroused. You can't afford to go around and sow your seed anyhow. And you can't become a fertile ground for any seed that is irresponsible. When you want to make a choice of life partner, look away from yourself. For a moment, think about it. It might be ugly. She might not meet your standard in terms of education. But then think about it. Can they help you train up the next generation? The woman that you are having sex with now and dating and professing love to right now, if you have a child by them or with them, are you very confident that this child could turn out to be the leader of the nation in the future? This man you are tripping for and you can do anything for, is it because of your own selfish motive and emotion, or because of your children, because you know that this is the right father for my child? Oftentimes than none, I get to hear feedback from many people all across the globe, not because I'm the cutest man in the world. For the life of myself, man, I get those advances of, I want to make babies with you and all of that. And I try to tell them, what if I don't want to make babies with you? Men should also come into the realization of knowing that you are not so cheap. The fact that a woman is tripping for you and wanting to spend the rest of their life with you does not necessarily mean that you are a superstar. Learn how to say no. She might be ready for you. You might not be ready for her. All of these things, if you do it because of righteousness' sake, you realize that the children are the one that get to suffer at the end of the day. I'm not saying you must marry in church, in court, or anywhere. But I'm saying, when you are ready to start a family with someone with whom you can trust your children. Peradventure you die before the time you plan, or you are not available to help in co-parenting. And this is what I believe. Now, when you put this into consideration, it will reduce the rate of your lust, because now you are falling in love responsibly. You are making love responsibly. Now you are not just having sex or having fun. You are making love. And in making love, you are ready for the responsibility of this lovemaking. The ultimate are the children. Don't ever try to go in the family with a person you know cannot be there for your children to also parent them. Peradventure you are not going to be there. We have so many people all across the globe who are baby mamas all around. But we also have their track record of how responsible they have been part of their children's life from beginning to the end, even though they are not married to the mother of the children or the father of these children. The fact that you are divorced from your spouse or your lover is not with you does not mean you should deprive your children of the right to be fathered by their father or mothered by their mother. Reach an amicable plan on how to co-parent, even though your love has now gone sour. And before you begin to think of divorcing, know that there are some people who will suffer and their life may never remain the same. Either you work out your marriage with love, or then you work out an amiable way of being able to make sure that the children does not suffer, because they need you. It takes two to tango. It takes two to fall in love. It takes you to make babies. Sorry about that. That is another thing I don't have control over. Like I told you, I am not in charge of whatever is happening right here because I am not in my studio. Please just hold on. Can we get the light back, please? It's Nigerian phenomenon. I'm really sorry about that. Please just give us a few seconds for them to restore the light. All right, so assuming we have the right leaders in place, Nigeria should not be a place where we have a changeover all the time, everywhere. Assuming someone train up a child, thank you. Assuming someone train up a child in the way it should go, that public office is to better humanity. We should not have a Nigeria where they chip off light on you anyhow. And that's part of what we're saying. We have politicians who have no home trainings, who have no human feeling, because they were not taught by their parent on how to go. This is what the scriptures say as I round up. Say, teach a child in the way he should go. It didn't say teach a child to go in the way of the church as a Christian or in Islam as a Muslim. Say, teach a child in the way he should go. And when they grow up, they will not depart from it. What that part of the scripture is saying is that you have the right way of customizing your child to what you want them to become. And whenever you have the chance to have a baby or father a child, make sure you customize them in a way that they don't bring shame to the nation, to the community, and to the name. Till the next time I see you again, next Wednesday on Intentional Parenting, I want you to believe in yourself. You can do this. Your child might have been taken away from you by social worker. Go on your knees and pray for another chance. And when you get it now, make sure you don't let them go. It is easier to customize their life in a better way when you have them under your roof than when they are away from you. And if there's anyone listening to me now, and this is your pain, you don't have access to your children, I pray for you that situation will turn around and things will begin to fall in place for you. And God will restore your family together again. God bless you. And for the sake of the children, please do share this with as many friends as you have on your network. Host it as a watch party. Send it to their inbox also. And let them know that we are passionate on this platform to raise a leader after our own kind, who can query system, who can question people, who does not care if you are older than them, but when they see the truth, they talk about it, who are courageous and are brave. Grace be with you, and God bless you. Bye for now.